I wanted to talk to you guys about Summit, and this is so stupid. I look like you can't even see my face. I don't know how to lighten this up. Um, anyway, okay, so what is Summit? So there are Emily Jones and Robin and Kim and I. There's 4 of us on here who went. So I want to talk about what it is. Wow, I'm surprised that not more people came on. I did a crappy job inviting, apparently. But I'm stoked that you guys are here, and Summit was such a life changer for me. And I'm still kind of riding that emotional wave afterwards, where you have really, really high highs, and then I swear you have lows afterwards, just to balance things out. It's just natural. So I'm in the middle of emotionally decompressing from a very powerful week. Summit is a Beachbody event that purpose is to bring a community of people together. That's it. That's all it is. It's a big piece of Carl Deichler's vision for what Beachbody stands for, and that is helping people live a healthier and a happier life. And honestly, you have a happier life when you have a community. And I learned that when I was about 11, 12 months postpartum from my first baby, Olivia. I learned how lonely and isolating life can really feel. And so I went searching for help. And so I was just sick and tired of feeling, hey, Alicia, what's up? You may want to mute yourself, babe.
Well, thanks.
That is basically something that I feel is a full circle moment for me that happened at Summit, because honest to God, community was the first thing I was looking for when I signed up as a Beachbody coach. And so for Carl to explain that at Summit, at my very first Summit, because remember last year, guys, I got off the plane on my way to Summit. I was too anxious. I was too afraid. I didn't think that it was somewhere I needed to be. And so for this being my first Summit, and for Carl to mention that that's what the vision of Summit was to bring a community together, it was a full circle moment for me, because that was why I started. And he wanted to make sure that while people were there, that they had a good time, that they learned something, that they felt inspired. And I can't speak for everybody that was there, but I know for certain that I certainly was so grateful that I did whatever I could to get my butt there, including get up at 4:00 in the morning to catch a flight, including share a bed with Robin, who is an awesome snuggler, by the way, including leave my family, which I've never left my family for this long, but it was worth it. All of those things that I did and overcame to get to Nashville, Tennessee were worth it. While we were at Summit, we had a lot of things to choose from to be able to do. I got to there were live instructor training sessions from all of the celebrity trainers. So I jumped on the opportunity to get certified as a PiYo instructor with Kim Wells, and it was like 8 hours of learning how to teach PiYo, and I really thought that it was going to be less involved, and I was so ridiculously sore. Chalene Johnson came, the co-creator of PiYo. She created it with her best friend Michelle, who's the modifier if you've ever done PiYo. In the videos, she was there also, and a bunch of master trainers were there, and it was literally like master trainers, including Chalene, would come around and be like, oh, you need to get your knee further out over your foot. You need a right angle there. Stuff like that. It was super awesome. One of the best experiences of my life. I went away from that. I went into it thinking, not having a clue if I was even going to do anything as a PiYo certified instructor. I signed up to be a pro instructor while I was there, and I already have plans to teach live PIO classes as an instructor. It's another opportunity for me to make an impact in someone else's life. And I want more of that in my life. And so I'm so glad that I did it. It was a little bit expensive, about $240, $250. It's a tax write-off. So it was worth it. It was definitely worth it. I learned a lot about myself, what limits I have, where I push myself, where I don't push myself, where I can grow. And it was, an 8-hour class. I was also super inspired, and there is a lot of work that goes into being an instructor. And so I walked away looking at those instructors in a totally different way. I just thought they were good at choreography. They are smart. They are independent. They are courageous. They are brave people that get up there in front of a class, and they stand for something, and that is helping people. It's not just someone looking for attention, which I honestly would go into a gym and be like, they just like the attention. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I would judge people, which is ridiculous. And I love having moments like that open my eyes to a way that I was thinking and put a reason to change and grow right smack dab in front of me, that prove, you were wrong. You need to straighten out your stuff and grow from this learning moment. So that was one of the days, an entire day, all PIO. And not to mention a afternoon at a honky tonk bar with Kim, which was super awesome because we got to hang out with Christina Delgado, which is one of the top coaches of the company, and make friends and listen to really good music, and have a few drinks. And it was all a tax write-off. So there's that. And the rest of the time we were able to do what they called our sessions, and different coaches throughout the company were asked to present in different areas that they were strong in. Steph Davies talked about social media and building a business on social media. And Scotty Hobbs talked about having a reason and basically working through fear. And so we got to sit in on these sessions and learn quite literally what the best of the best coaches are doing in their business to be successful. And that is not, I don't want to talk to you guys about that stuff, and maybe you want to hear that stuff, but I got good news for you. I am going to share it with you. I want to put it all together and into an album, into our team page that has the slides and the bullet points. And I want to have those that were there kind of comment on what they took away, and kind of, we all learn differently. We all hear things differently. So I think that I want to work with those of us that were there to hear it and experience it, and kind of compile it in a little bit more presentable way than my chicken scratch notes and just my singular position on what I took away, and with my really sketchy, blurry photos of the screenshots that I took of what they shared with us. But it's all coming to you. All that stuff that was in the sessions, I'm going to put all of that together so you'll get the same exact information that we got, hopefully all of it, and do what you want with it and ask questions about it. And so that's coming. Don't worry that I'm not going to share with you guys about that stuff. I promise I will. But we also did on the other half of the days that we were in quote unquote sessions, we got to go to the Bridgestone Arena, which is basically like going to a Coliseum or an event center, and listen to motivational speakers. And one of them was Gary Vaynerchuk, who's an author, and he is kind of this business forward thinking guy who bought Instagram early and Facebook early. He bought the word wine on Google. He's one of those guys that kind of sees ideas and can see whether or not they're going to be successful in the future. Hence the reason why he is successful. He bought Facebook, like I said, and Snapchat and all that stuff really early on. because he knew that they would take off and be big things. Gary had a lot of black and white things to say. And I really appreciated that. And I can't do his speech justice, so I have the link. So you guys can watch it if you want. Shalene came out and she made us all dance. Shalene Johnson. She came out and she made us all dance. And then she told this most amazing, inspiring story. I cried about her and where she's from and how she got to where she is in her life and how she's found success. One of the most powerful things that Shalene told me was in our PIO certification class, and that was delete the negativity. You can get really negative feedback on something and you just want to sit there and be like, for 2 hours, you are full of shit and how dare you say that to me and you don't know what you're talking about and I'm going to write this and I'm going to educate you and yeah. And you're going to find out that you just wasted 2 hours of your life being negative. Just delete it. Just you don't need to engage in the negative BS and the drama that's out there. So for me, honestly, ever since I got back, I have had blinders up that just have kind of kept me focused anytime I let personal doubt into my mind. Or the other day I deleted a comment off of my Chipotle post. And then I followed that up with like, hey, listen, thanks for the information. I appreciate it. I never have had a reason to go and get that information, so I never would have learned what you decided to share with me. Thanks. I appreciate it. However, I deleted your comment because I'd like my page to stay positive. They just said thanks. They were like, okay, thanks. It's a choice. You can stand up for yourself and you can ask for what you deserve. And I want my life to be more positive. So I'm going to demand that and I'm going to ask that from people that aren't contributing the positivity that I need. And it's okay. Don't feel bad about that. Be who you are. Do who you are and love who you are. Sean T came out at one time during that session and he talked about really taking a deep look at who you are. And if there's ever something in your past that you get hung up on, you need to face that. You need to work through that. If there's something about you internally that you don't like, find out why. Don't just ignore it, because you can't ever really appreciate who you are and live truly who you are without facing that and understanding why. And you don't need to be ashamed, because we all have something that we're working on. I was divorced at 20. I used to not tell people that because I was mortified. I was ashamed because my parents actually told me, we don't believe in divorce. I mean, I was like told what to believe. I was told that I was wrong. I was told that I was a failure for getting divorced at 20. Had I not got divorced, I would not be the person that I am today. I learned so much about who I am in that experience, and I grew so much, and I'm grateful that. And by hiding it and by being ashamed of it, I'm not helping those other people out there who feel the exact same way, who feel like they're a failure because they got a divorce. And I'm just going to share that because I don't care what anyone else thinks about that anymore. I am who I am now, and I can own it. But I can also help other people see things that they think are failures and realize that they're not. They're just life experience that helps us become who we are. So that was really powerful. I can also share the link on that from Sean T, and I have a link on Shalene's. And then Maysoon Zired came out. I think that's how you say her name. She's a Muslim woman from New Jersey who has cerebral palsy, and she's hilarious. And I think I cried more during her speech than anything else, because I believe that her point, or the reason why she's a motivational speaker and she uses humor to talk to people, is that she believes something that I believe in, and that is that we need to be more compassionate towards other people. We need to be more accepting of other people. We need to not look at someone and judge them for anything: color, race, religion, sexual orientation, whether or not they have money or not. I mean, I have learned about myself, it breaks me down to my very core when I hear of people, I witness people who feel like they have the privilege or the right to tear anyone else down for any reason. And her message was super powerful, and so I can't wait to share that with you guys. But beyond all of the motivational speakers and the tips on how to be successful as a coach, we also got to go over to where the Titans play football. And it was this huge stadium. It was outside. And they put on an opening ceremony and a closing ceremony. Martina McBride, or no, I'm sorry. Not Martina McBride. Redheaded country singer. Jody Messina came out and she did an opening ceremony. I missed it because I got the privilege to represent you guys as a 2-star diamond team and walk out with a bunch of other 2-star diamond coaches with our names going across the screen. And it was super overwhelming, and they kind of just they let me sit down in the front row and be right there for the whole show, and they kind of just spoiled us a little bit just to show us that they appreciate that we're working hard. And the whole time I just kept thinking everyone on my team should be here with me. And so it will be a personal goal of mine to help everybody, all of you guys, do whatever you can with this opportunity going forward, because I'm just so humbled that to celebrate you, that you're even here and part of this. They made a bunch of announcements at opening ceremony, like the fact that they're going to come out with a new program in November called Core to Force. They're having a 3-week yoga retreat on demand. They're doing a Fixate cooking show on demand with Autumn Calabrese and her brother. They're doing a reality show called The 20s on demand that's about new fitness trainers who are trying to be the new celebrity trainer with Beachbody. And they all get to create a workout and release that workout on demand, so we'll get to do that. They're going to do a health bet that will max out on $3 million in September. And if you're logging your Shakeology and your workout, you basically just get free money. It was awesome. It was and then the closing ceremony was fireworks and a dance show and puppets and a lot of live entertainment. Melanie Mitro came up and talked because she's the top coach in the business. And they also awarded $100,000 to the top female challenge winner and the top male challenge winner. And these are people that used Beachbody programs to change their life dramatically, losing over 140 pounds apiece. It was super emotional. Their reasons were very pure and powerful. And it just really drove the point home that we are here to help people feel better about them, who they are, and their life. And it was amazing. That was they had Shakeology bars everywhere. They had a fitness competition. My friend Tori competed in it. They had, Emily Jones got to meet Tony Horton and Shaun T and Mr. What's his name? He created the 3-day refresh, and he helped create Shakeology, and I'm just drawing a blank. But she got to meet them for hitting Success Club 15 in the months of June and July, which is super awesome. And any of this stuff we're going to share with you guys. But so that's what we did at Summit. And Summit is about community. That's what it is. What it's not, Darren Orlean, thanks, Kim. What it's not it's not a place to, it wasn't a place to reserve who you are. It wasn't a place to have fear. It wasn't a place to have doubt. It wasn't a place to second guess what Beachbody stands for, because any of that stuff just went out the window. And the most amazing thing that I took away from going to Summit was this sense of acceptance for being who you are, community, people that just, are there for you, are going to let you be you, encourage you to do what's true to who you are, and have fun. It was so much fun. I have never laughed so hard in my life. I have rug burns from riding a bull. Thank you very much, ladies who did that with me. I stayed out until 4:30 in the morning, half the time I was there, and I wasn't tired, which is crazy, or hungover, by the way. I got pushed so far outside of my comfort zone, and I felt more alive by doing that than even having kids. Like, kids will make you feel alive. They kind of force you into this whole new reality. But I felt more alive and more like myself in this environment, with this energy. And I was so overwhelmed and choked up from the amount of tears, and we shut down those bars. Yes, we did. We had there was no drama. There was no negativity. There were just people dreaming. And if you've been around that kind of energy, it just makes you feel so alive. And like, there is so much good humanity. And it's not quieted. It's not hushed at all. And it's super empowering. And so I have come home so alive and so focused. And I don't have any fear. I don't have any doubts in my capabilities. And I just feel like a completely different person. I have this feeling that I'm riding a wave, and I'm sure there's going to be moments where I'm going to need to take a time out, because I'm going so full steam ahead and I am not slowing down. It's not going to happen. There's too much that I can do with this opportunity that I can't keep it to myself. I can't feel this way, believe in what I believe in, and not shout it from the rooftops. And I know that we all had very different takeaways and very similar takeaways from our experience at Summit. And I'm just going to remind you guys of something that Samantha said. She's going to be on the stage talking. And I'm sorry, but we're not going to hush those kinds of dreams and goals, Sam. Not going to happen. So one of the most powerful moments for me that I wanted to share, and I will cry because that's what I do these days, apparently, was when Scotty Hobbs shared what his reason was. And the reason why I want to share this with you guys is because I feel like we all need to have that reason that is much bigger than any fear that we have. Those goals that we create, those dreams that we dream, they need to be tied to a reason that is so big that any part of life that gets in our way is not big enough to stop us. We need to believe in ourselves in such a way, and that our reason needs to run so deep that because life just authentically does get in the way, we won't let it stop us. And it's easier to relate to this for parents. So if you're not a parent, this might be a little bit harder to understand. But Scotty Hobbs is a top coach in the company. And when he first became a coach, he and his wife were working opposite shifts. He was working the graveyard and she was working the day shift. And they had 3 kids at the time. And so he was gone at all hours of the night and she was gone all hours of the day, and they never saw each other. And they would drop their kids off at daycare for the 2 hours where they were both at work. And one day he got sick and he had a cold. He calls it a man cold. And he decided to stay home. And his wife was getting sick and tired of his whining, which is typical of men to do when they're, sick, whatever. And so she said, you need to get up and get dressed, and you need to go get our kid from the bus stop. Like, I'm sick of this. Get out of the house. So he goes to his room. He gets dressed. He opens the door to outside, and the sun just kind of hits him. And he walks down the sidewalk to the bus stop, and he waits, and he can hear the bus coming. You all know that familiar sound of the bus, the screeching of the tires, and the air of the brakes when it stops. And the double doors open and they hit the walls. And at the top of the stairs was the 5-year-old with a twinkle in her eye. And she grabbed both of the rails and she stepped down those steps one at a time. And she had the biggest smile on her face because she saw her dad there for a change at the bus stop. And at that moment, Scotty Hobbs had decided that he would no longer miss picking up his children from the bus, and that he had missed many already. That's the kind of reason why Scotty Hobbs worked so hard towards his goals. That's the kind of reason that we need to be connected to our dreams. That's Beachbody related or not. Whatever you want in life, you need to find that reason to motivate yourself to do the things and say the things and be the things that it takes to get it done. Because the only thing that's stopping you is doing the work. It's not some magic ability that some people have and some people don't. It's just that belief in yourself and that reason why that's so big that it's not going to stop you from doing the work. And that was, honest to God, the most powerful moment for me. And that's what I've got going on at home. I've already spent probably 30 hours brainstorming and organizing with Excel sheets and planning. I have a new success partner that I'm stoked to work with. For me, my reason is that I'm raising 2 tiny little humans that look at the world in such a way that they add light to it. They look at it so innocently, and I don't want them to grow up in a world where I didn't actively try to spread more of that light so it doesn't go away when they grow up. I don't want their light to be dimmed because of a reality that's dark. I want to try and make it lighter. So with that being said, Summit was incredible. I'm not slowing down. And everything I do, I will be sharing with you so that you can either tweak it, duplicate it, replicate it, change it, use it, whatever, so that you know that I'm here to help you and I believe in you and I'm helping you have the tools. So if you have a reason and you have a belief, I want you to do it. I want you to be you, do you, love you, and just to hell with the rest. The noise, the blinders have to go up. The noise needs to be quieted down, and you're the only one that can do that. And I want to say also that I'm not going to put anyone on the spot, but if you feel lost, if you're not sure what's living inside of you, that's your number one priority in life. Because if you're not sure who you are, you're not living authentically as yourself, and the world is missing out. The people that love you are missing out. But above all of that, your life cannot be enjoyed as much if you were living it as yourself. You need to put that as your priority. Find out what fires you up, what fuels your purpose in life, and you need to embrace it. And if you don't feel it, you got to work on it. You got to start working on it. And I have tons of tips on how to start because I was there. I was on the floor bawling my eyes out, alone, lost. And right now, I have never felt more alive, with more community and support and love, with more focus than I do right now. So I know that like I'm kind of just talking at you, and that's not my purpose. I really just want you guys to understand that Summit was an incredible thing, and we have opportunities to do big things with this Beachbody coaching opportunity that's so much more than shakes and workout programs. And if you can get more live events, if you can ask for more help, if you can connect more, I really want you to do those things. And I want to say that I'm going to stop and I'm going to pause. And I want to let those of you that were at Summit kind of share. I know, like, I hate putting you guys on the spot, but if you can, unmute yourself and share at least one takeaway, because we're all so different. Like, it doesn't have to be like an hour-long thing like I'm doing, but just like maybe one thing that you want everybody to know about Summit. Who's gonna go first?
I will. I don't know how to put it into words really, though. It's so on so many levels. It was just what I needed. It was so outside my comfort zone in some ways, but so much like coming home. I don't know. You guys gotta get there. I can't describe it. It's amazing. Just on so many different levels. You'll grow professionally, like as a coach, but you'll grow so much. Just, I don't know. I can't describe it. Maybe I'll think of words and be able to do it later, but.
I'm sorry, but yeah. I'm going to cry like a bunch just thinking about that. Like I watched, oh yeah, no, I did really grow professionally as a coach too. It was amazing to feel like this is a business, damn it. You know, like, that was awesome.
How much I grew more as just like my soul and as a person, like completely, was more than I ever expected. And I don't know. Thank you for being part of all that. Everyone that went there, and I hope to see everybody else there next year, because I don't know, you need to be there. Yeah,
seriously, yeah. Thanks for being my snuggle buddy, Robin. Appreciate it. Kim.
Yeah, I tried to move to somewhere a little bit quieter. We'll see.
They find you.
They do. It's literally right here underneath me. That Scotty Hobbs story, the fact that you brought it up today is just a jerk move, because that was so. No, it is. That was 100%. Like, I mean, PiYo was amazing, and that I felt like we got done with like Wednesday, and we hadn't even started Summit, and I felt like I could have left and felt like I had checked everything off the list. I had met everyone. We had done PiYo, like all this kind of stuff, and like it was just starting, which was just insane. But that Scotty Hobbs story hit me hard because of all that we're doing right now with our life, and so that was just a chance to, like, I think that was one of my biggest takeaways, is that like this isn't just about health and fitness. It's not just about workouts and all that kind of stuff. It's about life. And I know that anyone that I talked to from our crew that went to Summit, like there were takeaways that were, relationship takeaways and life takeaways and confidence and self-love. That's a weird thing to say because it just sounds dirty. And just like parenting and friendships and yes, business stuff and everything. And so like, it's so huge on so many different levels. And I think that's why we're all an emotional mess. We're also probably still recovering from like exhaustion and stuff. But one of my other takeaways was just that, like, I say all that and I talk about how it's not about fitness and it's not about health and all that, like it's not about shakes and everything. But I also felt like that was one of my big takeaways too, was that like it starts with fitness. And it starts with accountability, and that being proof the product works, or, you know, a product of the product, like, isn't just a fancy, catchy tagline. Like, it is necessary, because if we're not taking care of ourselves, it's the same thing as on an airplane. Like, you have to secure your own oxygen mask, or you can't help anyone around you. And that's in so many different areas of life, but I 100% believe that, like, everyone needs good food and regular exercise in their life. And that's one of the things that I've been, like, really honed in on and passionate about. And I'm sure it's probably too, because the next, who knows how many weeks or months, like, that's going to be really tough for me. Like, we're going to be in so many different transitions life-wise. And so I know that it's something that I need to focus on, but it's also something that I saw, you know, people in our team, people in our big upline team, like, not modeling that. And so you can only go so long, and then you just get burnt out, or you are exhausted, or you're not taking care of yourself. And so that was definitely another big takeaway for me. And then just the same, like, the blinders and the being authentically you know, being the weirdos in the mirror that are taking a photo, like the most unattractive photo ever, like, and not because you think it'll get more likes, or because you think it'll increase your engagement or anything like that, but just because that's who you are. Like, just being you and being okay with that, and not trying to be, you know, not trying to be Julie, not trying to be, you know, Samantha, not trying to be Becca, not trying to be Steph Davies, like, just being you. So tons taken away for sure. And I'm in this delicate balance of, like, trying to just, like, go, and also realizing, like, I am so spread thin that, like, I've got to just, you know, focus. But that's okay. Like, that doesn't mean that I just, like, pull back and say, like, okay, well, I'll see you guys in 2 months. Like, it just means that we've got to take our energy and put it into the best places possible. So, and getting into something in person, like, go to Super Saturday this weekend. Like, honestly, if we have any downtime, I'm going to look and see when the Seattle Super Saturday is. And if we have downtime, like, I'm just going to show up. I don't think it's going to happen this weekend, but, like, that's my biggest bummer about this weekend, and that's house hunting, is I'm not going to be able to go and be in person. So do it. Don't even hesitate. I don't care if you know not a soul there. That's my first Super Saturday I went to. I knew no one, and I ended up meeting one of the gals who competed in that physical, in the bodybuilding thing recently. And, like, then I saw her at Summit. Like, out of 25,000 people, I saw that person that I met at Super Saturday. So, like, it's a big world, but it's such a small world, and we need to just make connections with people. So I'll shut up now, and I'll probably go eat dinner here pretty soon. But
Well, I'm almost done. I do want to know what Samantha thought, and I don't know if Emily wants to talk, because I know she's at hands and stuff. But, like, oh, go. Yeah.
Sorry, dude. I just jumped back on. I got kicked off, and then my kids got out, so I just got back on, and I had no idea what was said, but I assume we're talking about takeaway.
I just wanted to know what's one takeaway from yours.
Yeah, I thought one really big one that was a huge gut check and kind of heartbreaking to realize for me. But I was in one of the seminars. I was talking about fitness coach to CEO, and there was a fake picture of a mom sitting on the couch with her computer in her lap, and her kids are, like, climbing all over her and, like, driving the truck up and down her leg, and the dog had to go out. And it said, symptoms of a chronic coach. You are tied to your phone. You are constantly working. There is never any real downtime because you are always answering emails or messages or whatever. And then the next slide was mindset of a CEO. You work hard for your allotted time. The time that you are scheduling during the day to work hard, you work hard and you work focused. And then you get off of social media, you get off of your phone, and you go and play. And it made me cry because I've been trying to, like, fit things in here and there so much so that I was constantly on my phone. And I wasn't really ever down. And, like, this is the Zoom call is something that I had scheduled in. Like I knew that I was going to be getting on my phone call at my girls' dance, but I still watched the dance part of it for dance last year. But today and yesterday were the first vacation I really been able to spend. And I scheduled my time. I got up early, I was exhausted. I did my time this morning, and I got like 2 full hours this morning. I got an hour in while kids sleeping, and then I'm trying to get some 10 in tonight. But I scheduled my day, and then the rest of the time I played and I picked up a little bit, but mostly I played because that's what I need to do because kids are going to be in school soon, and I'm not going to be them all the time. And it was just a heart-wrenching realization to know that that's what I was doing and to really see it portrayed in a picture. And anyone who I've talked to, not anyone, but I've had a few team calls, like the Alive and Well call, when I put it out there yesterday. Another coach got on there and started crying because she was like, that's exactly what I'm doing. And it's a big deal. It's a big deal to have a focused in time. On top of that, you're going to get more done if you're sitting there and you're focused in on the tasks that you're doing rather than like intermittently trying to answer messages. That's how I work. And when I intermittently answer messages, I lose messages. It's like, oh, should I check that? Should I get to that? I have no idea. But if I open up my Facebook, my messenger, and I'm able to respond to all messages in the allotted 25 minutes giving myself, I'm able to open all the unread messages, read them, and then answer them. And that's that, instead of like trying to figure out where I left off and all that stuff. So that was my big number one takeaway from it. There's a lot of other skills out there, but that was like my gut wrenching one that really is affecting change right now.
Thank you for sharing, Em. Sam, do you have something? And then I'm gonna do my big announcement.
Okay. I guess mine is that I don't know how to say it, but just for me to be more confident in this. And I think me going to this showed people that this is a real business and not just like a pyramid scheme or anything like that, which I know it's not, and we know it's not, but for other people to see that it really is a real thing, was good for them to see. And then I gained more confidence because I want to be up there presenting, and I want to be diamond, and I want to be star diamond and all of that. And so it just really fueled me and gave me goals, just like, last year watching Sarah and Laura and seeing the little green emerald tag on the bottom of their ID badge. I was like, I want that. I don't just want a plain coach one. I want something hanging off of my ID. And so it just really gave me a lot of energy and a lot of passion and a lot of goals I see over there. And just, it just fueled me, and I'm excited. And yeah, I've already signed a coach since then, so we'll see how it goes.
Hell yeah, girl. Thank you for sharing. I wanted to point out that next summit, it's going to be a lot different. I'm bringing Nathan. Sam is bringing Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kim is going to bring Jimmy. Because that was a huge takeaway for me too. This is a family thing. This is not, there were people, elite coaches with their brand new babies strapped to them. Steph Davies didn't walk across the stage because she was breastfeeding shy. Like, this is a family thing. This is a genuine, amazing, heartfelt company. And I just, I don't do anything I do alone. Nothing I do is alone. Everything I do, I have 160% from Nathan. He is helping create an Excel tracking sheet for all of you guys to use because I asked him to, so that I had something. He is going to go live and he's going to show you exactly how to use it so that you can track your challengers and your customers and your coaches and every single Facebook friend that you have, and the conversations that you have, and then pull out reports from it. Like, he's just doing that. Nate supports me so much that it felt like I was missing half of the whole the reason, the ability that I was able to get there in the first place. And I want him there. There were husbands there having so much fun, just as much as the wives were. And so I loved that. It was so cool for me because it is about us as a whole person. You know, one of the things Carl said was, get your finances in order, man. Life's too short to not get your finances in order. It's not about buying everything and anything under the sun to represent a status, because you have a lot more if you can get your finances in order. So one of the things I literally messaged to Nate was like, before Christmas, all of our debt will be gone, because I don't want that kind of pressure over you, because he's too stressed. And so it's a goal of mine. But I love that he spoke to that, and he spoke to really the heart of the company. And I thought that was so awesome. And with that said, with 8 minutes left, I feel like I want to puke. I had to take a nap before the Zoom, and I really don't want to build it up and underdeliver. So I asked you guys to do a poll and grab a bucket. Thanks, Sagi. I asked you guys to do a poll and asked you guys if I should change the name of our team or not. And Kim Rusnak said something really important to me, and she said that it does represent me. And you only know if it represents me if you understand what it means. Team Truths and Trades started before I was ever a coach. I started a page called Truths and Trades where I spoke my absolute truth to my best ability so that nobody felt alone. Because if someone could relate to the crap that I had gone through, then my hope was that they felt like they could get through it too. And the trades was just basically the tools that I had in order to do that. So that anything under the sun, whether it was, at the time I wasn't a Beachbody coach. So it was anything I could educate myself with that would help me get through and get more out of life. Trades, anything went. So I would talk about books that I read, products I used, all that stuff. So I really appreciate those of you that said to keep the name and that you understood that it does represent me going forward. Because, my internet's slow. Okay. Because like I was saying before, my reason is that there's not enough light being shown. What do I say? There's not enough light being put on other people so that they feel like who they are is enough to do the things they want most in life. And I want to be that light. I want to teach my kids how to be that light and to not put anyone down and to not dull anyone, and to try to go out there and let that light be something so positive that the world changes, that people feel like it's okay to change, or be who they are, and in a sense that they are changing to be who they are rather than not pretend to be someone else or hide who they are. It's hard to be vulnerable, but I want people to feel like it's okay. So I am changing my name. We are now Team Lumiere, which is a French word for light. I've studied French since I was 14 years old. I love everything about the French culture, even the fact that they're assholes, because that's just who they are. I speak French. I love French music. And lumiere is just means light. And so that's my intention going forward, is to help shine a light on you and to help shine a light in the world. And Christina Delgado shared this really empowering thing. She said that when life gets hard, you need to lean into life. And so imagine this, if you will, life just hammering down, because that's just what life is about. It just throws everything at you that it possibly can. And with Team Lumiere, I just want to show people how to walk over it like, shit, you ain't got nothing on me. And I want to be that light that shows them that they can just climb over it or walk over it with grace. And so that's what we're doing. I actually have someone that's working on a visual branding for my team. We're going to do ranks for tanks, which means if you rank on my team, you get a tank. I'm going to do hats if you guys want to be part of it. I'm going to do business cards for new coaches and existing coaches. And everything's going to be Lumiere by Julie Campbell Fitness. So I have a business name. I'm starting an LLC. I'm not slowing down, you guys. I need you to understand that you have a brand new coach on this team that is not slowing down. So I'm all in. And I just need you guys to know that. So, wow, I did that in 5 minutes. That's a record, Kim. A record. Like, and I didn't fall. I think I'm out of tears. Yeah, that's what Summit was. That's why you should go next year. And that's where I'm taking this team. So I hope you guys are on board. Any questions? Anything? I don't see any questions over here. I just see lots of sweet things that if I read, I will cry. So I'm kind of ignoring that. And seriously, Lindsay, she is stinking adorable little princess there. Okay, speechless. Okay, I think that's a good way to end it. Soak that in, bitches. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that. I'm like acting like Shalene Johnson already. You guys should have seen her. She was just like, she thinks she's a thug. I bet you she is a thug. You guys, I love you. I believe in you. I'm so glad you're part of this team. Have a good Thursday. Let that sink in. So, bye.
Bye.